hosts, and tonight we're going to be speaking to producers and filmmakers from all the various broadcast student orgs on campus.
And I'm talent number 2, Reed Atherton.
Good job, Reed.
Yay, I said my first line!
Well, it's the first line of many tonight. We have countless incredible student organizations to highlight in this evening's broadcast, including WEBN, ECS, NBS, EIV, and of course, EmChan.
And if you have no clue what those acronyms mean, do not worry, because I don't either. I'm just so excited to talk to everyone tonight. But first, Sam, who are you looking forward to seeing the most tonight?
Well, Reed, I've worked a lot with a team at WEBN in the past, so I can't wait to see what they have in store for us. What about you?
Ooh, I'm very excited to see ECS. I've never been to an Emerson game, but I'm sure those sports teams are filled with hotties.
Oh my God, okay, well, let's move on, because we have a lot to cram into this episode. You know what they say, one semester at Emerson is like 4 semesters at Suffolk.
Wow, you're getting better at this joke thing. As a comedy minor, I'm impressed.
Thank you, I try. Now, let's find out what Emerson's #1 and only student broadcast organization, WEBN, has been up to so far.
So much, guys. It's such an honor to be hosting alongside such funny and gorgeous individuals. Welcome and good evening to the WEBN segment during the Rundown. I'm Faith Pinot, live from the Journalism Production Center. Let's take a look at what our organization has been up to this semester. WEBN is a student-led broadcast news organization. We hold weekly and bi-weekly shows in sports, general news, politics, entertainment, and Espanol. No experience is necessary to participate. WEBN also welcomes students from all majors. You can be in front of the camera as an anchor or a correspondent, or behind the scenes doing graphics, teleprompter, video, and other roles. WEBN also produces a mini newscast called the J Channel, where you work with the team for the semester. If your writing is your passion, WEBN has that as well. We have a team of fabulous web writers, and we also send students to do field reporting, both in Boston and on some trips, including Super Bowl Media Week and the Iowa caucuses. We are a co-curricular, so students can earn 1 non-tuition credit as well. WEBN and Emerson Channel hosted a 3-hour live show on election night. Let's take a look at some behind-the-scenes content.
Babe, the day is finally here. It's been a crazy election season.
70 students filled the Journalism Production Center and Tufte's DeBona studio on election night to work on the Election 2024 live broadcast. The 3-hour production included talent spread across both studios, a live interview panel, and 3 field reporters calling in from downtown Boston, New Hampshire, and the Emerson College watch party in the Billboard Theater. Preparation for the broadcast began officially in September when the collaboration between WEBN and the Emerson Channel was born. Together, they were able to leverage both spaces and utilize advanced technology to connect the two. Now, the preparation begins for WEBN's 2026 live midterm election show.
Yes, it was definitely an exciting night in the studio for many of us, but there was also a lot of work to be done before the broadcast. And WEBN's team wasn't only focused on the presidential race. In fact, our crews also reported on local results. Here is Shelby O'Brien's report on question 5 involving pay of tipped workers.
As voters in Massachusetts fill out their ballots, they are being asked to consider 5 different ballot questions. In particular, question 5 looks to ensure tipped workers are paid fairly. Bartender Nick Parrott knows firsthand the hardships of those in the restaurant industry.
My job is like gambling, where some days I'm going to go in and make amazing money, and other days I'm going to leave and not make minimum, like I'll barely make minimum wage if I do at all.
Currently, tipped workers in Massachusetts make a sub-minimum wage, which starts at $6.75, plus whatever tips they earn. If passed, question 5 would require employers to gradually raise the state's tipped minimum wage until it matches the state minimum wage of $15 an hour.
It will help a lot of people in the restaurant industry, especially people who aren't making as much. And it will also, which is the most important for me, add protections for people like servers.
On the other side are those in the restaurant industry encouraging Massachusetts residents to vote no on question 5. Server Dana Ranger says there's no need to change the laws that are already in place. He feels that any changes would only hurt the employees.
I make anywhere from like $40 to $50 an hour. So, you know, if that $15 an hour will pass, I'm probably going to earn half, if not less than that.
To Ranger, it is important that voters are having an open discussion about question 5 and hearing from those who work in the industry.
Listen to the restaurant people. Go in, ask them. You know, ask your bartender, ask your server, ask your food order, ask the manager. Don't ask the politicians who don't work here and never worked in a restaurant, please.
All around Massachusetts, signs like the one beside me urge voters to take action for or against question 5. As the ballots roll in, restaurant workers will soon know the outcome. Reporting in Boston for WEBN News, I'm Shelby O'Brien.
And WEBN does more than just election live productions. In a few weeks, WEBN will once again team up with Emerson Channel for an Emerson College basketball game and halftime show. Then on December 5th, we will also be live on the Boston Common for the Christmas tree lighting. These productions take dozens of students. All right, when we come back, we're going to hear more about WEBN's coverage of the Head of the Charles Regatta and what to expect from us in 2025.
Wow, that was such a phenomenal look behind the scenes of WEBN, and I'm so excited that I get to talk to you guys. So, what is it like to be live and reporting incoming information during the election night?
Oh my gosh, let me tell you, it is a lot of work. It requires a lot of communication between the anchors and our correspondents who are live in the field, and then of course our entire production team who's in the studio and working behind the scenes. So we were holding up cue cards and sending texts, and it was a lot of work, but we pulled it off ultimately.
And that's phenomenal because you guys looked so calm and collected on camera. I mean, how did you guys work as a team to translate this sort of incoming updates and news reports to the reporters that were on the screen? And then how did those reporters on the screen get it to our viewers at home?
Well, first of all, thank you. It was a lot of work, and it's really all due to our fabulous producers. So much work went into this show far before election week, and especially before election night. So they had so many things in place to make sure that our communication was smooth, timely, that they were fact-checking things on the fly, which of course is always our main focus. And then getting it to the viewers at home, again, that was lots of preparation, and we had help from our faculty advisors, and everybody was just able to work well together when crunch time was upon us.
And I'm sure there's plenty of unique challenges that come along the way. So like, what are some of those unique challenges that this special creates?
Absolutely. I think one of the most unique challenges when you're putting together a multi-studio special is making sure that everybody's kind of speaking the same language. You know, the way certain things work in the Journalism Production Center might work differently in Tufte. So again, all of those pre-meetings were so essential. And then another challenge, of course, is just technology. That's always going to be an issue, but we've gotten so good at using what we have available to us at Emerson. And so I think, again, being a teaching organization, having the opportunity to practice a lot helps when you have those moments that you're live.
Well, that sounds amazing, Faith. It was so lovely talking to you guys. Thank you so much for the awesome live reporting of the news. Now, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have FPS in studio, so do not go anywhere.
And when I arrive at my destination, I am going to kill Bill.
What? Oh! Okay, cutting. Sorry, can we get some of this light?
Where in God's name is the gaffer's tape? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Casey, and we're the National Broadcasting Society.
Come out to some of our weekly workshops, or work on some of our sets.
Explore the bigger picture with NBS.
We'll see you there.
All right, let's get another take. Camera, sound.
Hi, I'm Mary Malloy, the host of Speechless, and you're watching the Emerson Channel.
I think the question on everyone's mind when October rolls around is Nightmare Before Christmas. Is it a Halloween movie or is it a Christmas movie? Unfortunately, here at the Rundown, we do not have time to debate that question, but one thing is for certain, stop motion continues to enchant audiences for years, which is what excites me about the creators of this next piece. Please welcome, from Frames Per Second, Have a Nice Dream, Luca Bevilacqua and Abby Moisier. Hello guys, welcome to the Rundown. So happy that you guys could join us. So what is the premise for Have a Nice Dream?
Well, the premise, it was written by our director who is sadly not here, Jonathan Kirkpatrick. He's in Philly right now. But pretty much the logline is it's about a young boy right here who pretty much longs to be anywhere but his home. And he dreams every night of being somewhere more interesting and fun. And he pretty much then looks up to the moon, and a piece of the moon falls down, and other things ensue. But that's kind of a log line without spoiling.
That sounds very sweet. And I know Jonathan is not here with us, but if you could speak to sort of what is the inspiration behind creating the stop motion of this piece?
Well, this is a very fantastical story. It's very whimsical and sweet, and it really lends itself to the heightened stylization that's available in stop motion. So it was really important that we were able to control every aspect of it, be it the sets and the characters, and so the design of stop motion was very important to the whimsy of it.
And you were talking earlier a little bit about how long it took to create the stop motion character. Can you tell us at home, how long does that process take?
Well, the longest part of that process was designing the character in a way that everybody on the team was happy with. So I probably made upwards of 8 prototypes of just the puppet's face. And so that was pretty long, but once I had the design locked down, I was able to sculpt this specific face that you're seeing on camera right now in, I'd say, about 4 hours. And then it took me 2 hours to paint. And then our fantastic art team made the armatures and hand sewed all his tiny little clothes.
Wow.
So.
And what are some of the unique challenges that the stop motion media presents? I'm sure that there's, of course, the time challenge of trying to create the stop motion, but then what are some of the other challenges?
I would say the biggest thing for us was actually the time, but when we got on set, it was a lot of fun teaching people how to animate, kind of, because our animators that we hired were varying levels of newness, I guess. Not a lot of them, some of them had a lot of experience, some of them a little, but it was really fun seeing them do that. But the biggest struggle that we had was kind of the time. We got picked up a bit late in the semester, and pretty much we got picked up week before spring break, then spring break came, and then week after we had 2 weeks to build the sets, the boy, and then we started shooting, and we had a month to shoot, which is not a lot of time for a 10-minute stop motion short, but we got it all done, so it was it was great.
It's so cool to see his journey throughout time and space. And where is the show going now? Where are you guys headed now with the film?
Right now we're in the distribution process, so we're going to be submitting it to festivals and stuff like that. We already had a premiere. We had it in the Billboardy, I think, it was a month into school. But we had a great premiere. We had a lot of people show up at the showing. And so, yeah, we're now getting into our festival run. So, yeah.
That's so exciting. And I'll ask you one last question. What is one thing that you want our audience at home to know about the film?
You want to take this one?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, it was the first film that our director, our writer-director, Jonathan, wrote when he started writing scripts. And so it's a really important story about growing up and about appreciating what you have and about loving where you're from. And so I think it's very important that, for him at least, the message of this film is about, moving forward into what you want while also appreciating where you're from and who raised you.
That seems like such an impactful idea or film to carry on right at this time when you're starting to do college. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Now we're going to take a special look at Have a Nice Dream. Wow, that was such a delightful look, full of whimsy. These past 2 weeks at Emerson, the gym has been moved to P Row, and it has been so nice. After class, I can just go get a quick workout and then run back up to my room when I'm done. So I was absolutely shocked to learn that we already have a gym in P Row. P Row has been home to Emerson Sports for years and has been home to our next org, Emerson Channel Sports, for about 25 years. Let's go now to Sam Lawrence, who's actually live in the gym right now with ECS. Sam, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Joe. With 10 seconds left, Emerson's hoping to pull away and score this foul.
Thanks, Reed. I'm here with the director of ECS, Evan Sherrard. Evan, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Sam?
You know, I'm doing good. I'm excited to talk about the organization you are the director of.
Yeah.
It's a big position.
Yes, sure, sure.
So just tell me first kind of about how ECS operates. How many events do you guys cover throughout the semester?
So that ranges, and we have 4, so producer, director. Those are our positions that we have that are paid, and then everybody else we bring in are volunteer with no experience required. So a lot of our games require those volunteers, so it's dependent on that, and then also travel. So all the games in the gym are really easy to do, so we do all the basketball we can, all the volleyball we can, and then Rochfield, not too far away, just a stone's throw, and then we'll play and do the soccer games, the lacrosse games. We haven't gotten to do lacrosse in a while, but as the director, I'm going to change that. We're doing them this year. You watch. So in the past, we've covered baseball. I covered one baseball game myself last year, but we're also going to try and get out and do that. I know that we've had a lot of crew members and volunteers who said, hey, I really want to do baseball. That takes some travel. It all has to do with where we have plugins. And so we cover up to, I think, soccer, basketball, softball, lacrosse, volleyball. That's at least 5 different sports, and then a bunch of those have both gendered sports as well.
It's a lot. And you guys work kind of directly with student athletes at Emerson. What's it like kind of building that community between sports broadcasters and student athletes?
So one of the biggest things I think about sports broadcasting, besides getting the experience here, is the human aspect. This is Division III sports. So people view that differently than Division I or professional sports, where they're like, oh yeah, LeBron James, you've heard of that guy. You might not even view him as a person. You're like, that guy's LeBron James, he's the basketball player. All these people are people. Yeah. And I think at the Division III level, we get to see that even more on the ground level, because these people are our peers. They're in our classes. They're students and athletes all at the same time. And to be able to provide a product that their parents are able to watch, especially if they're even overseas. We had a family came up to us mid-game from England who had said, like, hey, can you like adjust this angle for us? Like, mom's back home, she's in London. And we're like, wow. So you never know who's watching. And that's really special to do that and to have that relationship, and making sure that you're respectful, because there still are rules in place that you must respect and go through the athletic department in order to conduct yourselves properly, whether it's doing sideline interviews or whether you're talking to the players or the coaches. All that stuff's kind of got to be pre-planned ahead of time, or you got to talk to the right people.
I love that story about the family from England. There's such like a community you guys built. And it's also kind of like, you know, the broadcasters rely on the athletes for content, but the athletes kind of rely on the broadcasters to show their work and get it out there. But I want to talk about kind of how you got into ECS. So what made you want to step up and do the position of director?
So I started ECS my second semester of freshman year, and I came to Emerson wanting to be a play-by-play broadcaster, still have the same dream. And that's why I got involved at first. And the first game I ever did, I was a color commentator. I did a basketball game my second semester, nervous as heck. And I was nervous the whole way through. And after the fact, my play-by-play said, you did a great job. And that really made me feel good. I want to do play-by-play. I felt confident in my abilities then, but I didn't think that I was like, okay, this is the college level. This is going to be harder. And I really just wish if I did one thing differently that I would throw myself in earlier. But I was said, specifically on why I took the role as director of sports broadcasting here, is I was said to, at a communications student meeting freshman year, what do you want to do? And I said, oh, I want to be a play-by-play commentator. And then the professor who was there said, and it was Mark Brody, he said, that's great. Just make sure that you're learning other things too around it so that you can be really versatile, because nobody's going to hire just a talking head. And I think that's been really important in my Emerson experience. I've done everything here from produce to direct to technical direct, replay. I've learned how to audio engineer, cam op, set it all up. And I think that's really important, an experience that I all got at Emerson Channel Sports, and why I took that step up to become the director.
And you also talked about, kind of wishing you had started sooner.
Yeah.
What would you say to students at Emerson who maybe have an interest in sports broadcasting, but maybe don't think they have the skills, necessary to start working with ECS?
So you do have the skills to start working at ECS, because all you have to do is be able to exist. And so if you exist, that means you can...
It's a pretty low bar.
It's a very low bar. Where no experience required. And I like to say that our goal at ECS is not to have a great product. Our goal is to get experience and create an environment for anybody to come and be in a sports broadcasting environment that will model what you will see in the working world. And you can see if you're interested in it, or you can see, I love this, I already know this is what I want to do, I want to get that experience, I want to get my reel, I want to get my demo tape ready, I want to get all this experience with all the stuff in the control room. That's where I was coming from, and I didn't think that I had it. But now I am the director of sports broadcasting, all because I decided to stick with it. That's anybody can do that. I really believe that. And if you are doing those things, the result will be you achieve your goal of getting all these people this experience, and hopefully a product of that goal being met is you have a great product too. It's not about making, we want this to be the best possible. It's about creating the environment to empower people to do their best. Yeah.
Well, even like for, people who may want to be on-camera broadcasters.
Yes.
Working with ECS, they can also get behind the scenes knowledge and experience to be able to be kind of a well-rounded reporter when it comes to that kind of stuff.
And that's really important, especially I was just reporting over the summer at a news station, and I want to be on camera, and there was so much stuff that I had to do as a multimedia journalist. I had to shoot all my own shots, I had to edit all of them, I had to do all the writing, I had to do all the reporting, and I had to do all the stuff in front of the camera. All that stuff I was prepared for because I worked here. And I knew, okay, I know what I'm doing with this camera. I know how to level a tripod. I know all that simple stuff. I know how to edit my audio. That was all stuff that I had learned here, which would have been a lot tougher. And the barrier for entry and how much I would have had to learn right off the get-go would have been so much more. And I'm not gonna say it was easy, it wasn't. I still had to learn a lot, but it made it a lot easier. And I think that's all available right here, which I think is, it's really exciting. And I'm really glad that we can offer this to people.
Well, also, that when we're talking about Emerson Channel Sports, I heard you guys have a new logo you've been working on. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so our graphics designer, Pete, who's currently in LA, he's still very much a part of our team. Pete, we love you. We see you. I hope you're watching. We really appreciate you. The graphics that you've made over the years have been immense, huge, awesome, and I'm really happy with the new logo because it's sleek. We've needed one for a while, not because the old logo isn't good. It is, but we just had it for a long time. And so Pete...
shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, shake it up. It's time to shake it up. Pete came up with a logo, and he implemented a very crucial part of the college's identity in that logo, at least branding-wise. And I think just made something really clean. There's a bunch of different colors. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to pull in there for the logo. We got a couple different colors, I'm excited. Yeah, it's going to be really great.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you so much for talking to me about ECS, and thank you for doing all the work you do for ECS, because you're giving so many students, great opportunities to get their feet wet with reporting and, sports broadcasting.
Yeah, thanks for highlighting it, Sam. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you for being here.
Of course.
Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much, Sam. Well, sometimes Emerson feels like that art school from Glee. ECS reminds us that there are some wonderful sports happening on our campus. And it's cool to see that there are some ballers who can also sing and dance, which reminds me of the cool interdisciplinary work being done within the film department. National Broadcasting Society is cooking up some cool work, exploring musicianship in Musicians Wanted, The Extraterrestrial in Code Gemini, or following trails of breadcrumbs in Hansel and Gretel. Each NBS set strives to be a positive space and welcome learning environment for new students. So let's take a look at the work being done there.
Hi, I'm Gregory Tittle. I am the producer of Hansel and Gretel, which is the fall project for MBS, for which I am also president of.
My name is Matt, and I'm the co-director of Hansel and Gretel, and I'm the co-vice president of NBS.
Hello, guys. My name is Omar Bicane, and I am co-director for this fall project called Hansel and Gretel. And it's basically like a modern take on the Hansel and Gretel story, what they would do if they couldn't rely on technology anymore and rely on their intuition instead.
I wrote the script during the summer, and then throughout the past month or so, I've just been planning everything in terms of like set design, shot list, storyboard.
We have 4 productions per semester. 2 of them are short films, 2 of them are variety shows. One of them is ITS, run by our lovely Joshua Fox.
Hi, I'm Joshua Fox. I'm the industry training coordinator for MBS. Right now, I'm on the set of ITS, which is the industry training series for MBS. This is currently our first episode we're doing. This is going very well. Crew's working really hard, and it's a great environment here. And I love being on set with these guys. And there should be more episodes coming out later this semester and following semesters. So if you're interested, sign up.
And it's basically like a training series videos, and then Musicians Wanted, which is run by Zaria Karib. And it's basically where we interview musicians around the area and we allow them to play the set here in the Tufty studio.
Throughout my freshman year, I did lots of NBS projects like Musicians Wanted and Industry Training Series. And then last year, I got to be a part of the board as training coordinator, which I had a lot of fun with. And this year, I'm vice president, and so far I'm having a blast. So NBS means a lot to me.
We pride ourselves on being a learning-based organization.
Basically, we're a learning-based org, so any people who are new to set or new to like certain positions or anything, well, they can take this opportunity to be on a more low-key, more chill environment. That way they can have more opportunities to observe and learn.
So what we do is we try to get students who have little to no experience as much experience as possible. I love it because MBS was the first set that I worked on, and it was such a great experience, and that kind of just like set the standard for every other set that I've been a part of in my college experience. And it's great, so I would love to like pass that on to other people. I just want people to have a good time on set.
I think it's just like an environment where not only can you learn, but you're around great people. I mean, these past few days, the number one thing that stood out to me is how much connections we've made along the way. I think a lot of people are having fun just talking and gabbing and whatnot, and that's what I really like about set the most. I think it's just like making the connections on set, having fun together, because it's all a team effort, and so that's what I really think MBS is about.
I think people should join NBS because number one, we're just very creative people, we're hardworking people, and we're very ambitious people, and I feel like there's no better place to learn on campus the basics and the essentials of filmmaking than at NBS.
Check out our Instagram, check out our link tree, join us on MConnect, and we have an emailing list that should be coming out pretty soon. So yeah, be on the lookout for that.
Wow, that package was so amazing, and I don't know if y'all saw that set. I mean, it looks just eerie and creepy. I'm so excited to see their creepy take on Hansel and Gretel. Well, so far the work we have seen on the rundown is just spectacular, but we aren't out of the woods just yet. For now, let's take a trip to the river. Let's welcome back WEBN and learn about their segment on the Charles River Regatta.
Thank you so much. Yes, over the river, through the woods, back to the river, WEBN attended the Head of the Charles Regatta this year, just as we have every year, in October. And for this year's trip, 30 students and WEBN leaders covered the weekend-long event, gathering interviews, writing articles, and creating lots of news packages. The Head of the Charles event offers some of our newest participants a chance to kind of get comfortable in the field and with reporting. This year, over 30 students covered the event, not including student leaders.
50-year reunions are common in high school and college, but at the Head of the Charles Regatta, that's unheard of. But one team did just that.
It's one thing to win the Head of the Charles Regatta, it's another to try and do it several decades later.
But Phil Roche's boys, 8 rowers from Father Judge High School in Philadelphia, set their sights on Cambridge for a historic reunion.
So this was 50 years ago to the day, 1974, that we won the regatta. And
it was his harebrained scheme.
my idea.
That came up
It wasn't my
and said,
idea.
Yeah, we're going to do this, and I live in Thailand. So he told me, I'm like, oh yeah, sure.
Mike Tomlinson, another mastermind behind the idea, offered his own perspective on getting the band back together.
We walked out of there and said, do you think we ought to get together and get everybody? It's 50 years. I said, yes. And then everybody took a little bit of responsibility to help get this all together.
The group's victory took place in 1974 in the men's youth eights. They noted how the regatta used to be a one-day event and it was less organized than how it is now. But one constant has been their coach, Phil Roche, who has remained a fixture in the rowing community. He even inspired their team name.
He's really had a huge impact on the people who rowed for him. I think almost everybody has the same story, that there was something life-changing about rowing for Phil.
And as for whether they could repeat their title-winning performance?
No.
For WEBN, I'm Jordan Pekadinawan.
Jordan, that was great. Another student involved in the coverage told a completely different story about the regatta. Let's take a look.
Along the Charles River holds the head of the Charles Regatta, the third largest regatta in the world, with anticipation and excitement in the air for a thrilling weekend in Cambridge.
Here on the site of the head of the Charles, we ran into members of the Tri-Star rowing team from Knoxville, Tennessee, competing in this year's regatta.
No, I'm chilling. I feel like
I know Sarah's got it.
It's like the right amount of nervousness. But
The U19 women's Tri-Star rowing team come after competing in back-to-back events and will be racing in the Youth 4 and Youth Quad event. Cox and Sarah Flynn talked about her preparation leading up to the regatta.
This is my 3rd year going. I've studied over like 100 hours for this race, so I'm like a little bit obsessed with it. I love it so much, especially as a coxswain. I really feel like it's a coxswain race. I would do it 2 times over. I love it so much.
Rowing is no different from any sport with a drive to be the best. Rowers Emma Huey and Caroline Brown offer advice for those interested in the sport of rowing.
You can always find something to work on, each practice, each stroke, each race.
get on the river. I think you fall in love with it. Like we said, you get on the water and you're like, oh, I love this.
So if you dream in competing in the head of the Charles, get in that water and row your way to greatness. Reporting from Cambridge, Massachusetts for WEBN, I'm Briggs Loveland.
As you can see, we had a very busy semester at WEBN. Coming up in 2025, Super Bowl media coverage, the Boston Marathon, and our usual productions and website content. Thank you so much for tuning in to WEBN's segment during the Rundown. Our organization is welcome to all majors and all skill levels. If you'd like to get involved, follow us on MConnect and Instagram at WEBN_Boston. Back to you in Tufty.
Thank you, Faith, and WEBN for that incredible reporting.
Oh, Sam, how did you get there?
Oh, I just appear anytime we talk about WEBN.
I do remember seeing you on my screen from time to time on WEBN. It's definitely the best way to stay informed, and oftentimes it's live.
Yes, thank you, Reed. Thinking on the fly is definitely intimidating when you're live on camera.
Yeah, I wonder what that's like.
But luckily, we were all really prepared to report as long as we needed to.
See, at other schools, people stay up all night for Ragers, but here at Emerson...
Our students know, in order to play hard, we have to work hard too.
Right, like in addition to on-camera broadcasting, Emerson is also known for our student-run film and television shows.
Yeah, that's right. Emerson Independent Video has overseen the production of numerous projects this semester, and they aren't slowing down anytime soon.
And they continue to offer opportunities for their students to take their learning out of the classroom and onto a film set, including students like me.
Oh, I didn't know I was in the presence of a star.
Yes, EIVs, don't you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Oh, so actually that is the name of the film that I worked on a couple of weekends ago. I just felt like such a star. They even served us crafty.
Well, EIV really works to make all of their sets a welcoming space for students of all skill levels. And they also establish a level of professionalism that sticks with students for the rest of their careers.
Yes, and they've actually prepared a little something filled with celebs like me, so let's take a look.
we're the EPs of Pandora's Room.
Hi everyone, we're the EPs of On Being Pluto.
Hi, we're the EPs of Flim Flam.
Hi, we're the EPs of Stacks.
Pandora's Room is a 2-episode mini-series. We have 7 characters, all based on the 7 sins. They're all trapped in a room together. They don't know how they got there, and they're trying to work together to get out and figure out who put them there.
Can't find me no I done seen it all, my God. I done seen it all, oh my God, I swear.
Flim Flam, as a full show, is an anthology show. We're currently on our 4th season of production. It's all about the hustle and kind of young kids making their way in a world that isn't meant for them, whether that is a sneaker reseller or someone trying to get a bar that is being passed down to them, or this season, a down-on-their-luck exterminator or a lying tarot card reader. We really try and create a world in which young people are the focus and they have a lot of heart and they're put into really interesting situations.
This is my first semester working at the Midtown College service desk. What could be more normal than a job working at the college library?
It's a fun time. I mean, it's all about the community, and it's very character driven, and it's really just, yeah, it's just a fun time.
On Being Pluto tells the story of a friendship breakup through the metaphor of space, Pluto being the one who's always left out.
Welcome back to The Rundown. We have some very special guests in the studio right now who are going to tell us all about their new show for the Emerson Channel. It's called Joan, and it's a coming-of-age story about a transgender woman who must navigate fear, love, grief, and all the other complex emotions that come with growing up as an LGBTQ adolescent. It is so important for young people to see themselves reflected in the shows and movies they watch, and that is why I'm so excited to talk to the executive producers of Joan right now and hear all about their creative choices for the show. Coleman, how are you doing?
I'm so good, it's redonkulous. I'm so happy to be here.
Ethan, how are you doing?
I am also pretty good. And then also I hope that our 3rd EP, Sophia, who's in the control room right now, is also feeling excellent. Shout out to being an AD.
I love you, Sophia.
Thank you guys so much for being in studio to talk about your show. Coleman, as the creator of Joan, what was your motivation for bringing this story to life?
So I started transitioning around the time I started writing it.
When was that? What year?
A couple of years ago.
Okay.
Sorry, this mic, I feel like I'm doing a type 5 right now. Anyways, So I started transitioning and I just needed some outlet. And so I started writing the show. It was like, used to be like a really weird form. I was just talking to Sophia about this. It used to be like a more like episodic, like, anthology thing. And then it stopped being that because I watched Modern Family and that just kind of like really shifted where I wanted it to be. So yeah, that was how I kind of got into starting it.
So you drew inspiration from Modern Family to make it?
Yeah, it's crazy because there's a study from 2006, not to be like STEM, but there's a study from 2006 about the importance of queer media and representation. And so basically, participants were asked to watch Will and Grace repeatedly over like every single week. And since
that's just what I do.
Me too, girl. I'm a Will and a Grace, I fear. But what happened was the rights for gay marriage equality, the idea of it started becoming more popular with the people who are watching it. And since that has been cited by Joe Biden, that stuff has been cited like across the board as a reason for why marriage equality changed. And I think that can still happen for trans people. And so that's a story that's something I wanted to do in college. And so, hey, we're in college, so it's big girl time.
That's I've never heard about that study.
It's insane. It's fierceness. Yeah.
But that's incredible. And tell me a little bit about what it was like working on set with your crew, with your actors. How would you describe the environment?
Fierce. I love that crew. Shout out to all the divas who are freshmen who ate on our set. We had a lot of new people on our set and it was really exciting. I'm new to this. This is my first semester as an executive producer.
Oh, wow.
I've AP'd once. Shout out Hell Inc. So it was just a really exciting new experience for a lot of people. It felt like an inaugural thing for a lot of us. So.
Yeah, it was a really awesome experience, especially because it was a really comfortable space for a lot of queer people. Like a lot of people were really excited not just to work with us, but also work for what the goals of the show are. And it was really nice to build a whole community, like especially with, like as Coleman mentioned, like freshmen who didn't really know what they were doing and able to kind of like guide all of these learning peers while working in a very comfortable and fun and friendly environment. So it was pretty awesome.
Well, Ethan, when did you first hear about the show? Like, what inspired you?
Okay, so picture this. Start of the semester. Emerson Channel posts on Instagram, hiring producers. And then I see one of them says Joan, and it's about the experiences of a young transgender woman. And I say, that's interesting, because I'm transgender. Because as a non-binary person, I think it's really, I think trans stories are really lacking, and especially, like not even, like as just like, I feel like a lot of times when people tell trans stories, they're normally like younger too. So I think it's nice to be like Joan is a realized adult, but is now realizing another part of her identity, and I think that's really awesome. And I really wanted to make sure that story could get told. And I was just so excited. So yeah.
And what impact do you hope the show has on its viewers?
There's a couple things. I hope for myself that it's an experience that we get to keep doing, just because I think that, again, the repeated quality of it is something that's really important to television specifically. But externally, outside of us, what I hope people take away is the possibility for trans story. We're telling a slightly sometimes silly, slightly sometimes dramatic, like it's kind of just, we get to play around in genre a little bit, and I don't think that our stories are just monolithic, and that's something I really, really want to stay away from, and I don't want to just fall into traps that our media falls into so much. I'm really interested in exploring, I think, an impact that I really want to explore is what that looks for the entertainment industry and what it looks for, like setting a precedent for specifically what representation looks like on screen, but also behind the camera, because the most lovely thing about this set was not even just having trans people in cast, it was having them in crew and seeing them make the creative choices that I felt more safe in those hands.
That's a really interesting point, to have kind of a realistic depiction of this story versus kind of a more surface level position on it. So like, how did you try to humanize the story? How did you try to make it really realistic to the true experience?
Well, there's a nasty rumor going around that trans people are human. And so I was really able to draw from that. I just there's these really cool things that we have called desires and like histories and families. And like, I just think that it's such a weird thing that we don't talk about it. Like, on a selfish level, I think it's rife for drama. I think we talk so much in storytelling about desire and about what we want to do and those kinds of things, and I just think like it's so rich for everything, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, finally, what has it meant to both of you to work on this set and work with so many incredible people?
Do you want to go first, might I ask?
Yes, thank you. This
An
has
intimate interview.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
know. It's real
Yeah, this has just been like a super fulfilling experience. Like I have produced other things as well, but I do really feel like I was really able to bond with like all of the cast and crew for Joan. Like I feel like when we see each other, we always gotta make a little wave, pop a little pose, be a little diva, and I think that's really awesome. And just like I really felt supported all of the time, and I also was happy to support all the members of our cast and crew, and it was just a really awesome environment.
Yeah, I'm just very grateful for this experience. Also professionally, I feel like I've gotten my foot in the door in like a million different ways. Getting to write and produce is something that I don't take for granted. And getting to be in that creative position is something I am deeply excited for. So even outside of just representation, it means the world to get that experience. And thanks, EmChan, you're awesome.
Thank you guys so much for talking with me and being here in studio and telling me about this exciting new project. We're going to take a quick break, but don't worry, we will be right back.
Black Beatles in the city, be back immediately to confiscate the monies. Right scrum. Wow. My world. You sent flowers, but you said you didn't receive. But you said you didn't need them. That girl is a real crowd, please. Small world, all her friends know of me. Young bull living like an old geese. Quick release the cash, watch it fall slowly. Frat girl still trying to get in. Haters mad for whatever reason. Smoke in the air, binge drinking. They lose it when the DJ drops the knee. Getting so gone, I'm not blinking. What in the world was I thinking? New day, new money to be made. There is nothing to explain.
That was such a beautiful interview with the team behind Joan. Coleman is one of my dearest friends, and I'm just so thrilled and excited to see some of the most beautiful, authentic queer work that will come off of that set.
I couldn't agree more, and I'm also so proud of every student organization we've worked with tonight for their hard work these past few months.
I'm getting emotional just thinking about it.
Stay strong, Reed. We're almost done. Whether they're from journalism orgs, film orgs, or sports broadcasting orgs, all of the students we featured tonight have an undeniable passion for storytelling, and their work truly speaks for itself.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about any of the student theater groups, community organizations, or student body councils.
Yeah, I mean, Emerson has it all.
Yeah, it really just amazes me how strong the Emerson community is.
Well, while we are on the topic of community, I would also like to take the time to appreciate the tremendous community that has made this show happen. Coming out, guys.
Wait, are we doing an SNL-style closing?
Oh, we are doing an SNL-style closing. Guys, come on, hurry. Walking around here. I just want everyone at home to see the incredible team that has worked so hard to put this show together. So, live from Boston.
Wait. I forgot to do something. Hi, Mom.
Okay, thank you for watching our show.
And thank you so much to the people who worked on it. Live from Boston, it's Emerson Channel's The Rundown!